Okay, these bolts are 10 millimeter, and that's what I have on here, so I'm going to remove them, and let's see what this one is. Yep, 10 millimeter, so I'll be removing all these just to get this air cleaner housing out of here. What I'm looking for is the fill up for the transmission, and I can't see it anywhere since this is all covered up, so because I want to do a transmission fluid change, cooler out. And a 2016 Scion TC RS10, and this is going to be a transmission drain and refill, and the fill plug is right down there, and it's to the right, this silver plug. If I can point it out to you, which I can't. What I'm going to do to access it though is there's no room there, and you'd have to take the splash guard off. I'm not going to take the splash guard off. What I'm doing is going to access it from cutting the plastic splash guard, and then you can just fold it back up again. Right here. Let's get the light in here. And okay, like this. There's your access plug. So what we're going to do is just cut that down. What I got is these, I'm going to try this. I've already used regular scissors, but I also have aluminum scissors that cut aluminum. See if that'll cut that down a little bit more. There's no wires in the way, so I'm just going to cut this down here. Hopefully you can see me doing it. On that side, and over on that the other side here. Now, I think we're on. See if that will access it. That accesses it pretty good. And then we'll just bend this down like this, over like that, and there you have it. Let's see what kind of fill-up plug that is. What size it is, should I say? Looks like. And I've already started access. Okay, it's a 15/16. I used a breaker bar extension, and this is for the fill-up plug for the transmission on a 2016 Scion TC RS10. And what I did is I got underneath here like this and got it on there and backed it off, and it cracked, you know, and then I knew it was loose, and now it's hand tight, hand loose. I mean, in other words, I can back it off with my hand. See, you can probably see me doing this. Once it's loose, I need to see what it has for a washer on there, and whether or not it's going to come out of there, the tranny fluid. See, the first thing you do is find out where the fill up is. Okay, and then you can see, I can see transmission fluid inside, and I have the proper tools to put it in there. Okay, the washer is right here on the fill-up plug, so I'm going to leave it just like it is. Okay, I find two ways I can fill the transmission fluid in a 2016 Scion TC RS10. Now you can pump it in with one of these, and this is not the gear oil it says it is. That's a clean can, and what I'm going to be using is automatic transmission fluid multi-vehicle ATF. I used it on the RAV4 Perfect, or I can use ATF WS automatic transmission fluid from Toyota, which I used on the Yaris out there. Okay, now this and this funnel is another way you can put the transmission fluid in it. From what I can see, if it don't work, I can pump it in. But I do like the idea I come up with. As you can see, I opened up the wheel well protector, plastic protector. You can fold it right back up when you're done. And put this funnel extension, we'll call it, that is flexible so you can bend, and put it in the hole like you see me doing it here, like this. And it goes quite a ways in. And then take this funnel and put that down inside of it like this, and then you can pour your transmission fluid in it, and hopefully it will go in and not back out. So you could hold it up as best you can here, and it should flow right in. It should. Now this is a test. We're down underneath the transmission, and it takes a 6mm Allen to take it off the drain plug. As you can see, I've already got it started actually, and it's at hand loose now. So what I'm going to do is catch some of this stuff. First I want to clean off the area before it starts leaking down, and just make sure everything is backed off, clear and ready to go. Okay, and you can see the washer is on the drain plug. You can reuse them, just clean them off and then just tighten it back down again. And I'm going to measure how much comes out of this transmission, and into this pan, and I'll pour it out into quart size bottles and measure how much comes out, and that's how much is going to go back in. Now the drain plug is still up in there, the overflow drain plug, so it's going to start coming out. But it takes 6mm Allen, as you can see, and then you back it off, and then it will start into the pan. I need to check for machining, tranny machining. I've always seen transmission machining on a car that's got, like this one's got just over 1,000 miles. So here's your overflow plug that shows that it's full when you're filling it, but I'm measuring it. I want to see what comes out of it, and I'll put that much back in. I'm going to set it back down level. I'm going to put this back on, so let the rest of this tranny fluid come out. And here's your overflow fill plug, we'll call it. And I want to see just how much comes out of it. And be interesting to it's not much, is it? That's weird. Okay, and then I'm going to level it, level the car, and let the rest of it come out after. And that's what I'm doing, getting the brake-in materials out of this automobile. Okay, let's back out of here. Okay, this is the transmission drain plug. Looking at it again, let's go outside here in the light, see what we can see. And there we go. It looks to me like you got a lot of dirt there at the end. Dirt is metal fibers. In other words, if this is magnetic, it picked up a bunch of machining of the transmission, metal fibers, and that's the stuff you want to get out of there early on. About 1,000 miles on your car, maybe less. I'd probably do it about 500 miles or so. I've waited a little too long. Okay, let me get inside here, and I'm going to wipe it off and see if that's what I think it is. Oh yeah, look how clean it is, and look at the dirt. Okay, I don't know what it is, but in this transmission fluid, even before I start dumping it out to measure it, out of this pan, there's some specks of dirt of some type in there. This pan was perfectly clean when I started. Fill her out. Okay, this is what we're going to do, is fill it up now. The transmission, you got to keep it jacked up a little ways so that you get clearance between the quarter panel here and the tire to get into the area of the transmission fill up. So I think what I'll do is get a tripod and put this camera on it so you can see me pouring it in, because I can't do both. Cooler out. Also, I want to point out that you can use the Toyota ATF-WS automatic transmission fluid, or you can use the SuperTech automatic transmission fluid multi-vehicle, and use that. Okay, that's two, and now all I need is a quarter of a quart to put in there. I got dogs in the house yapping at each other. Okay, next thing you know, they'll be fighting each other. I'm gonna have to shut them up eventually, but I ain't gonna bother right now. I want to finish my job. Grab the third quart, and we'll put a quarter of a quart in there. Yep, I'd really dripped some down there that time. Let's see what we got left here. Okay, that's about it. Okay, back at you. Let's see if you can see down in there. Okay, you can see. Okay, I just wiped it off the lip of the fill-up bolt. And now I'm going to put the fill-up bolt back on. Oh yeah, I can. And that's the way you want to do it, and get it all hand tight first. And then we'll tighten it down. Okay. So, oh, it's actually a 15/16. Let's see if that's it. Okay. Let's see if I can do that with this. Okay. Now once you get it to the point where your left hand can't do nothing, I'm going to lay down on the ground here, on the garage floor. Grab a hold of the bottom of it. I can still keep my eye on it. And then by feel, tighten it. And again, oops, I didn't think. Okay, we're good to go as far as I can tell. Now we're down to test driving the car, but before you do, you want to warm it up and run it through the gears and drive it back and forth on your driveway before you take off with it. Cooler out. Okay, this is the view from the top of the engine looking down at the fill plug. As you can see, I pulled out the air cleaner filter housing and everything out of here. That was to find it in the first place. In second place, I cut down the plastic wheel well protection here, and all you have to do is take this, plug it back, put it back up like this. See what I just did? And it's going to stay there. And that's what I'm going to do right now. And then, like I said, I got to test drive the car. And, okay, bye. Okay, she's all buttoned up. Now, the test drive is next. What I'm saying is, by buttoned up, is I put the air cleaner housing and everything back together. All the plug-ins are in place. And tighten down the snorkel and all the nuts holding the snorkel coming, the air snorkel coming into the car. Now to put the electricity on. Car is hot. Now the thing you need to know is that when you first start a car, after you disconnected the battery, it will stall. Then when you start it again, it will start up, and then you got to reset the clock, and I think I forget what it is. Cooler out. Okay, we just got back from the test drive after draining and refilling the transmission fluid. And the way I did it was let the car warm up to engine temperature, and then I would put it in reverse, put my foot on the brake. Then I put it in drive with my foot on the brake, and then what I did is wait a few more minutes, and then I backed it out of the garage a little ways and sat there for a minute, and then I put it in drive and went forward in the driveway and back and forth, and then I backed out to the street, and then I went down the street as slow as a car will go, and then I went and accelerated and everything was fine. And now looking at the fill-up plug, let's put this light up in there. Okay, and this is the tab that I made to get to the fill-up plug. There is no leaks. That's good. That washer took. And now what you do is just take this plastic, tuck it up underneath like I did before, and it stays right in place. I also looked underneath the car, and let's get that out of there. And there was no leak there. So the washers, I just reuse the washers. Don't keep thinking in your mind you need to change any washers unless they leak. If you've been around as long as me and you started out in a Volkswagen Beetle, you might understand what I'm talking about. Back in the 60s. Okay, and there is, let's see if you can see that. There's your drain plug, the washer behind it, and no leaks. So I guess we're good to go. So I'm going to go off with the dogs, take them for a ride. They're in there yelping and wanting to go for a ride, not knowing what I'm up to. Okay, this is the 2016 Scion TC RS10. We're finished on a transmission fluid. Refill, drain and refill. Let's get this over here. Okay, cooler out, bye-bye.